everyone, welcome to Plant Therapy. So here I am with this new Hoya that I purchased on a live, and the soil is soaked. I haven't looked at the roots, so we're going to look at them together, but I think I have it in my mind I am going to switch this. Now I will take some cuttings that I'm going to root up because this has a lot. So I don't see why I shouldn't do that to ensure that I don't lose the plant completely. I'll take a few cuttings. Now this is quite a bunch. Okay, so let's take this through here. This has been sprayed one time so far. I'll be doing some more spraying with Pure Crop the next time. I used insecticidal soap on arrival. So we're gonna let this callus over a little bit, just sit. That's a nice chunk. This one doesn't have all the leaves yet. So, you know what? Should I take that? This one has a cluster, which I'm afraid if I cut this, growing new roots from this stem with all these leaves. Maybe I'll just take a portion of this, like here, down here. And let's see, maybe one more. I should have gloves on. That sap is a little irritating, so if you do this, keep that in mind, especially if you're sensitive to it. Okay, I think that's enough, right? Still plenty of the plant left here. If I see it declining after the repot, I'm going to chop what I can and get it. Just take it off. Let me get a pair of gloves because it's bleeding. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. One thing I'm learning, and this is what I do, I don't necessarily, I'm not suggesting that you take that chance with your newbies that come in the mail, but I've gotten a little bolder and have repotted some of my plants. Like I said, you gotta be willing to accept the fact that it may not like the repot. And one thing I'm learning is that you have to get in there and look at those roots sometimes. You see any hint of something going wrong. For an example, okay, I got that Pachaclata or subquintupla nervus. Initially, when I unpacked it, I said that the leaves felt as if they were soft. I realized there's like 2 plants in there, I think, and one of them is it's the longest stem. I suspect that it might be a new cutting that was stuck in there. Now, if I'm going to water it according to what the plant normally would need, a rooted plant, I may end up killing that, right? So I am going to repot that one, or at least get in there and look at the roots and see if that stem really has any roots, see what I'm dealing with, because otherwise I could lose it. And although I got it for a nice cheap price, I don't want to lose it. I spent money on shipping and stuff, so yeah. we want to try to keep what we can, you know? So there's that. And it happens. I'm sure, you know, they're not doing it purposely, selling you unrooted, but I mean, you buy these things at your own risk, really. Some sellers on Etsy will tell you it's unrooted or slightly rooted or a rooted plant. And usually you can see because people are using the clear pots. But I used to be afraid to get in there and see what was happening with the roots. Like if you watched my video, plant chore video the other day, I was toying with the idea of repotting my Nicolitiana. Hey, I think I said it right for the first time. The green Friday. Yeah, I chickened out. I did lessen some of the soil in there. I felt like it was a lot of soil for the amount of roots, and I didn't want it to rot. So it's been doing okay. I backed off and just let it kind of air out a little bit when I first brought it home, and then I've been checking on it like on a regular every day. I have it where I can see it. I'm gonna end up rinsing this, and I'm gonna do Pure Crop 1. It's gonna get the everything, but I'm not putting it back in soil. You knew that. I'm gonna put it in, you know, I realize I'm talking here with no mic and I'm talking very quietly. Okay, give me a minute to get that right. Just looking to see, I don't know what I'm seeing on my gloves, if that's just perlite or something else they sprinkled in the soil. Right now, I want to make sure nothing's moving. Okay, here we go. Pause you for a minute while I... Okay, sorry about that, guys. I was just talking quietly because I thought the mic was right on me, but I forgot I had taken it off earlier. Anyway, I'll definitely turn up the volume when I edit so that you can hear me, and if not, then I will do what do you call that? A voiceover. Okay, so like I was saying, I wanted to see what I was working with, right? Okay. Like I said, I don't know what they use. I have gloves on because I'm imagining these are maybe imports. I'm sure they're imports, but seem very much like, you know, it was grown in a nursery or whatever. And I don't know what they put in the soil, so I thought about it and I said, no, I'm taking a chance here. I'm going for it. I've repotted a few other my Hoyas and they did good. You just have to keep a close eye. And I'm not saying go repot your new Hoyas or whatever. You do what you feel is best. But over time, I think I'm getting a little bolder. That's not to say that I haven't lost things that I did repot shortly after the repot. So, all right. So instead of, you know what? I have these cool little tools. I have to show you this kit while I'm soaking this in hydrogen peroxide. So let me go get that started. Try to rinse off some of the leaves too. I mean rinse off the soil and the leaves. And then we'll do that hydrogen peroxide, because I can't really tell these roots are okay. Hopefully they are, but I'm not gonna mess with it too much. I already did too much, I'm sure. A bunch of contradictions today. All right, hold on a sec, I'll be back. All right, so that was pretty good. The soil came right off, surprisingly. Now you can see better. It's holding on to some of the bark that they had. But yeah, that came off pretty nicely. So what I want to do now is just let it sit in the peroxide and water solution here. And don't ask me, I just kind of wing it and put whatever in there. Maybe that's why I go through so much. Probably should put less than I did just now. It definitely gives you Bertonier vibes. And I think he did mention that. Now, I don't know if it's a hybrid or what. I'm not going to get into all that because I don't know for sure. But when I took it out, the leaves are longer and thinner, but it gives me that same feeling. And it seems like the newer leaves come in, these seem like they're a little sun stressed or a different color. Maybe they do initially. Maybe they stress a little bit, because believe me, I will try. I'm not going to overdo it. If it starts going pale on me, I'll pull it back. But yeah, kind of gives me that feeling between Hoya Anncajanoae, even Rosita a little bit, and Bertonier. So that's just my take. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit. Now, I have this other plant that came just the other day, not very long. The Polystacia. Look at what's happening here. Now, did I water it too much? I'm not sure. But you know me. Cocoa chips, like now I would say this looks kind of dry, but there's still some dampness in here. And I think I saw someone say that you can see when it looks dry, and when it's totally dry, then give it water. I've been trying to learn that with the, what do you call it, Sarawak cream that I got from Plant Life Lex. She uses a combination of stuff, and I think there are cocoa chips in there, chunky perlite. I think she puts charcoal, and I'm just guessing. I never asked her what her recipe was, but it's a nice, very chunky mix. So I have my fungi, I think. No, I think I repotted the fungi. I'm not sure. But I have a couple of hers that are still in that chunky mix. And I'm just trying to force myself to see how it works for me. My concern with these type of mixes is that the roots latch on. But as you can see, I pulled off some of it. I also pulled some roots off with it. So I don't know. Does it latch on the pond? I'm not really sure. But so I'm going to dig in here, pull this out. I mean, they look like healthy roots, but I'm just afraid to ignore this and lose the whole thing. It's only one leaf. I'm torn. Maybe let me put this aside while I think about that. Nice video, all right? Well thought out. I'm just taking you along with me in my day-to-day. So these can also be like here. I think I'm going to chop here. So I have this section, and then I'll have this section as well. I don't know what'll happen to this, but it's okay. If it dies off, it'll give me more. And then I think I'm going to snip a couple of places here as well. This is a nice long stem. And it was starting to shoot out something here, but it's okay. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I want to have enough, and they're going right in stratum because I don't feel like playing around with anything else. I'm just going to go into stratum to make sure, because that's what I'm comfortable rooting in. I've rooted directly in pond, but with this new pond being my DIY pond, I'm still trying to decide if I have the right combination of rocks in there, and I'm not sure yet. So we'll see over time. But with this, I don't want to take a chance of losing the plant altogether, because we don't know how this will react to what I'm doing. So will have backup. Yep. So yeah, that's what I feel like I need to do. So let's chop this further while I decide what to do with that one. I was kind of nervous purchasing just a one leaf plant because I'm like, what if that leaf doesn't survive? But the good thing about Hoya is you could take that stem if it's still alive and, wet stick. Is that what they call it? Wet stick? I think so. But yeah, you can sometimes get a plant from that. So that would have been my next step. So I guess I'm just showing you how I think this out. I do try to take into consideration I could lose the plant. But when I saw this, I had no intention of buying anything. But then when I saw her hold this up, I said, oh, in my mind, I'm seeing all the cuttings, the possibilities. Now, does that mean I want to chop up every plant I get? No. Some of them, I want them to grow out a while so I can see how they grow. And just kind of learn the plant a little bit. See what light they respond to and different things like that. So yeah, that doesn't mean that I'm going to buy plants, chop them up, and put them on the sale, on for sale. That's not my goal. This is me sharing my collection with you guys. So I intend to keep for myself as well. Oh, I got another thing here. I realized I got a little carried away with my watering. And one of my plants, it's in terracotta, but it's the, what do you call it? Calistophylla, the regular one with a little bit of splash. I realized today I plucked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 leaves. They were yellow. So it looks like I overdid my watering the other day. Now it sits in a sunny window. It doesn't get a lot of sun, but it gets a lot of light. And it gets, I don't know, a couple of hours. What time is it now? It's sitting in sun right now. I'm thinking of taking a lot of cuttings from that plant and maybe starting the mother plant off in pine. I already took a cutting that I started for the shop. However, I'm really thinking of doing that with this plant, kind of starting it over. I'd like to see it a little bushier. It's grown well. It's kind of lanky. So I think I'm going to try to repot the mother too. So maybe let me bring that over here and we could start chopping and getting some for future plants. Hold on, be right back.